Hello, Mason.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Oh
What's
my
up?
lord, it's him. What's up?
Well, are you on your phone right now?
No, I changed my mic.
Ah, okay. Sounds it actually doesn't sound bad despite the phone comment.
Okay, okay, okay. Let's go, let's go.
I am just pulling up something really quickly.
It's all good. Are we live yet or
We are
still waiting?
live. You are
Okay, okay.
live.
We are on the air, ladies and gentlemen. Sheesh.
Sheesh. How have you been? I've been absent from the game for almost a week at this point.
I've been chilling, to be honest. Not much really going on. Planning on leaving to Georgia for a Kashi concert next week. But other than that,
Dang. Okay.
chilling, TM. I know Hog's gonna have some choice words about me listening to Kashi, but it is what it is, man.
I feel like
I
we
don't
should
know.
be
There's like,
supporting each other, not bringing each other down here.
that's what I'm saying, bro. Exactly, TBH.
Just saying. Just
And right
saying.
on cue. And right on cue, we have the no way comments. Yeah, bro. Sorry, man. What can I say?
My bad or something.
True.
I
Why is the internet going feral over that man's stupid wolf cut? I mean, aren't wolf cuts in right now? Aren't those what, like people are into nowadays?
I think so. I mean, I've heard a lot about wolf cuts.
Yeah. I mean, they don't look that bad, but like
You should get a
people
wolf
will be
cut,
feral
Mason.
over anything. I actually did get a haircut recently, so maybe
What?
we'll see it. Since
Oh,
we're gonna be streaming here, you know?
holy. Okay. Handsome guy.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
All right, I hate to say this, I'm low-key building the podcast as we go.
No, you're good. You're good. Take your time. We can just sit here and chill for a little bit. Games this week were actually pretty hype. I'm sorry that no one was able to like stream the New York Nutbusters game because I watched that as it happened and that shit was kind of fire. No cap, putting on a real show of a series from our good friend the Nutbusters. So
Yeah, if you actually give me one moment, I would love to talk about that. Why don't you let's bring up the first game of the
yeah,
week.
yeah, of course.
Um,
Let me find it.
Before we get ahead,
Yeah.
let's bring up the first game of the week being Metabusters versus Spectres.
Yeah. That was a series TM. I wasn't there for the first game. I think I hopped in at the second game to see what my team was up to, what they were cooking. You know.
Mm-hmm.
They dropped the game. I think MetaBusters is shifting away from like their meta, like anti-meta style into like a more traditional, boring people team, which is like fair because it is kind of disheartening to lose a bunch of games like that. But we'll have to see. And I think they are like actually pretty good if they do the swap right, because I think Silico started performing really good. Uh, what's his name? I think Noam actually was a pretty underrated jungler this season as well. In my opinion, I think he played really well in all three games. So
All right. Well, that's pretty nice of you to say. I mean, I think that every player on Metabusters has more than enough capability to perform. I think all of
yeah,
them
I agree.
can put in the work, especially Silico. I mean, like when
He's a
my
beast,
team
bro.
fought Silico, and even I did watch I did watch a lot of the Spectres versus Metabusters games. Um,
Mhm.
he was easily the person we had to watch out for, and I kept telling my team, I was like, we have to respect Silico. Don't let Silico get out of control. The Caitlyn mid was, no offense, putting the boots on Zach.
On Zach, yeah, it
Yeah.
kind of was. It was kind of funny to watch. I won't lie.
Zach did not want to admit it, but I do think the Caitlyn mid was giving him the works.
Yeah, agreed.
Actually, no, it
It
was
was just like a.
Stan. It was Stan.
Oh
That's
yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah. I think it was Stanley. It was Stanley, but yeah, Silico being able to bust out these like ADCs and Caitlyn being such a strong champion as well. Like you want it, and it's good in like both the ADC and like the. I guess they put it in the mid lane role, and it worked out for them. So, just a really strong champion and one really important to look out for. Yeah.
Yeah, I think putting Silico on champions that like even though in off meta position, you can definitely carry with Caitlyn.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, of course.
she's I don't want to say easy, but she's a great champion to put your whole team on the back of. I think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a really strong like champion. It does tend to require a little more support, but that's like sort of the advantage you have in like 5v5 comms, like being able to play around like these champions that want like strong side. Not if you build shield bow. True. There was some like errors in itemization IMO in the game. I think as Hong is talking about, the Caitlyn did opt for like a shield bow build, which didn't allow it to carry as much, and I think that was like one of the reasons you guys ran away with the game is that Caitlyn wasn't doing enough to like kill you. You know, like it's great for like surviving their burst, but like once you lose out on the Kraken Slayer or like the Gale Force kiting, it's like harder to position in these fights like that. So
True, but enough about. Actually, can we move calls really quickly? I just
yeah,
realized.
yeah, sure.
All right, cool.
What
Uh,
call are we moving
let's
to?
go over to two boys.
Okay.
Oh no, I'm getting RTC connecting. This is the worst thing that could possibly happen ever. No, Mason, I'm sorry. Hello?
Hello.
Hey, sorry about that. I kept getting RTC connecting.
Yeah, yeah, I figured as much. That's
Show me
why I was
that.
like,
Show me that beautiful
I think
face of yours.
oh, yeah, Discord is great sometimes. But yeah, I think to talk more about the Meta Busters and the Spectres games individually, I think Silco also had a really unique pick when they played versus Spectres and took the game off them in the Renekton mid. And then they flexed the Silas top into the Garen, which is interesting, I think. Yeah, we can face cam. I don't care.
All right, cool. Go for it.
One minute. Yeah.
I
Oh, let me go turn dark in my room.
There we go. I was not kidding when I said I was building the podcast assets as we're doing the podcast, because I may or may not have completely I
Oh,
completely overestimated the time it would take, or underestimated the time it would take to do
oh
a
no, it
lot of these
happens. It
assets.
happens. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right,
It does
so
indeed happen.
let's
You're
talk
good.
about the Metabusters versus Spectres game. Metabusters winning game one. Hello?
Yeah, I didn't think anyone
What?
expected that. To give them a lot of credit, I think their draft was actually really good. They had the Lilia into the Udyr, and this matchup is like really hard for Udyr. I think it got a lot better with like the Udyr rework,
Mm-hmm.
but even so, it's like if you can get the Q into like the if you build like a Rylai setup, even if the Udyr gets Force of Nature, it's like hard to stick on top of the Lilia. Also, you like don't have the damage to kill her as she's healing with her passive.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and also, I'm being told by my superstar 80 carry Hong that we did also ban our own champion in the Ash, so a little bit of trolling in the draft as well. I think a lot of people weren't expecting Metabusters to be super competitive in this series, and so a little bit of ego might have occurred in that draft. So
Yeah, I don't know. I looked back at the games because I missed them live, but I checked back
Mhm.
and I saw that it was 2-1, and I was like, "This was 2-1." And scrolling through the VOD, I see the game with Silico on Timo. Oh, heartbreaking.
Yeah,
That was
yeah, it
heartbreaking.
was so tragic, bro. Like I think after game one, Spectre's doing a little trolling. I think that's our brand at this point, trolling game one, going super hard in game two and three. Uh, they sort of like buckled down and like started playing the game like seriously. We saw like I think I think Logan just started calling for a Silas or not a Silas, a Swain pick early, and like was kind of taking over every game on it. It was super strong, so
Yeah,
super
I
good
think
performance
it's
from him on it.
I think it's impressive that you can see, at least with Spectres, just their ability to like really buckle down and say, "Okay, this is it. We're playing the game now. We're gonna win. Enough trolling. Let's
A little
like
bit
actually play the
free
game."
for all. Yeah. I think also Cerberus having a really good Tristana performance in both of the second games. Super good from Spectres, I think. I do think I think the roster that Meta Busters ran this week in the I think Joey was also high in the second game. So like there's an argument for that, but yeah, there
Joey
was
was
that as well.
high in the second game.
Yeah, that's what I heard. That's what I
Oh
heard.
my gosh.
It was really funny.
That's
But
hilarious. Yeah, I don't know. You want to talk about the third game at all? I just remember being absolutely heartbroken. I'm trying to figure out.
you just
Oh no,
mhm.
I have to go here. I'm trying to figure out the score
It's all
sheets,
good.
but unfortunately, I can't get to the score sheets, the end of game sheets from the website. It just takes me to
Yeah.
the YouTube.
To be fair, I don't think we have any of the score sheets, so I just pulled it up on YouTube. I don't think we took any screenshots of like the end game, but in the last game, what was the draft? Hold on, let me pull it up real quick. But it's like, I think. Oh wait, hold on. I want to talk about draft from game two. I think the way Meta Busters drafted actually had like a lot of good agency. I think Teemo Mid is like kind of troll, but it's like okay into Tristana, and also like it's Silico's like super comfort pick.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
I was surprised
uh,
the Timo got through ever.
yeah, it almost worked for them, but I think Spectres performed a bit better in like most of the team fights. You have like the Vi lockdown, and then you just press it onto the Sona, and the Sona is immediately obliterated from the fight, kind of thing. And then you
Mm-hmm.
put that with like Tristana damage. I think me and Hong were talking about it, and like Ezreal Sona should do a lot better into Ashe Swain. Because like how is the Swain ever supposed to stick on top of you with like the demonic ascension if you have Sonos speed up and like the Ezreal E to like arcane shift out of fights? But it's like I think Spectres just performed better like on the play, like they did a lot of the team fighting better than Meta Busters. So
Yeah, I think that Spectres, when given the agency, are definitely a team to watch out for.
mhm.
However, speaking of teams to watch out for, we have to
Uh-huh.
talk about this second series.
Okay, yeah. The second series is fucking gross. New York Nutbusters kind of slept on this entire season and really proving that they are number one in the league. I think Mike putting out like a huge Viego performance. Champion did just get buffed,
Champion's terrible.
and then
Champion's terrible. Hate
something
Viego.
like that. Yeah, Viego's like really strong right now, and
Yeah, I think that it is really, really interesting to see, a champion who has kind of disappeared entirely from the spotlight come out of nowhere, and Mike just puts on a show with it.
yeah,
Um,
I think to be fair, this champion is like, I know Hong is saying this champion sucks right now. The crit passive did get buffed on like your passive on like your Q, where it's like your passive can now crit, which is really good for like these shield bow Kraken Slayer kind of setups, which are like his best build and like carrying the games. And like I think his R execute damage also got buffed, and it's like those are like two of his strongest tools in the game. Like you always want your R to be killing people and getting those souls resets.
hmm
So I don't think the champion's as bad as Hong is making it out to be, but yeah,
I
I
want the
think
champion to be dog. I want the
yeah,
champion to be unplayable. I hate the
I
champion.
agree with that. It can be so annoying to play versus as Viego. Like it's a very frustrating champion to play versus. She waits for me beyond the mist, bro. What can I say?
But good on Mike. Put on a performance. I think that, I mean, from my perspective anyway, Mass Valor and Pirates is definitely a team to be feared because
Yeah,
um, you have the new players, Heroic and Aya, who are
yeah,
putting in
yeah,
work. I mean, we
yeah,
saw Aya step up and just completely play a carry position from the support, which was
yeah. Which
great. The
is hard.
Karthus,
Yeah,
the Swain, phenomenal play. And then Heroic
yeah,
obviously can 1v9 games on a good day. And
yeah. I think also in the games, I think a little bit of not to like discredit New York Nutbusters win, but Aya wasn't playing that game or that series, and I think the series does go a little bit easier for the side of MVP if she does play. Like I think having Casper in for Io is like a super big downgrade, especially in like points. And like I think I was doing a lot of their like shot calling as well. So it's like you're losing like a big voice in your team and also like a pretty big carry potential as well. So
Yeah, I,
yeah,
I definitely agree. I think it's a shame that Iowa subbed out. I hope when we get around to the second round of games, we'll see
yeah,
a rematch from these two teams, and hopefully we'll see a better performance by Mass Valor and Pirates. I think they have it in them.
yeah, I
I,
agree.
for a while, had them ranked as the best team in the league.
Mhm.
My rankings have changed. Obviously, I think New
Okay,
York
okay.
Nutbusters have stepped in and shaken things up a little bit.
Okay. I'm curious what your what your list is now. Since I never got yours. I will say also Taxi putting in a lot of work on the new champion ASOL. The ASOL or not new champion, but the reworked ASOL. Champion's like really strong in like scaling situations. So like, I'm curious to see if there will be any ASOL priority going forward.
We can talk more about um, Taxi and the ASOL in the mid lane in a little bit, but for right
Mhm.
now, I
Yeah.
think I will go over my rankings since you asked. So I was actually
Okay.
talking to Dean about this. Dean did
Okay.
visit my area recently, and I got to see my husband, and
Of course. Of course.
he actually asked me the same thing, and I think after this week of play,
Mhm.
I think I got to put New York Nutbusters first.
Okay.
I think I have to put MVP second.
Okay.
Andromeda, I throw third. I have to.
Okay. Okay.
You understand. You understand.
I understand, of course, of course. Dude, the disrespect on Spectres goes crazy here.
Well, don't worry about it, because Spectres at least gets fourth.
Okay.
And then. I think Rift Sharks Meta Busters, but it's close. Like,
Okay.
really close. I actually might have Meta Busters at fifth. Because
Okay.
I do think they're starting to really get their act together. And I think that
Yeah,
once
I'd agree.
Metabusters figures out how to play, they have a lot of scary players. I think Honen's good,
Yeah.
especially with the Zerath or the Silas. I
Hmm.
think Gnome does a lot of things in the jungle you wouldn't expect him to. I think he's
Yeah.
unpredictable, but he's like somewhat consistent.
Yeah,
Silico,
yeah.
obviously, Diamond 2 Teemo mid in my heart.
On God. I will say I think Garrett is also like a super underrated ADC. Like he has a pretty good champion pool for like setting up like stronger players. Like they play a lot of Ashe, like the weak side Ezreal, stuff like that, and it's like that can be super valuable. Jacob on support is like a tried and true like weak side king type
Hmm
of thing. So um, I will. What was your ranking at the start of the season? Actually, I was curious.
At the start of the season,
Yeah.
I think I put Andromeda first because I had to believe.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
Okay. You and Dean are just believers in your own
you
team.
have to
That's
be. You
based.
have to be. If you're not, what are you? I think it went
That's fair.
Andromeda, Spectres,
Okay.
Mass Valor and Pirates, Rift Sharks, New York Nutbusters, Metabusters. I think that was my start of the season
Okay.
review. So there's been a
See
lot
that.
of shakeup.
Okay. Well, I guess since you gave yours, I'll give mine. I do think you have to put New York Nutbusters first nowadays.
They've earned it.
Uh, I'm gonna say Spectre second. I know, like, y'all are just unbelievers for some reason, but we are like the second best team in the league by standing, and I think in most of our games we've played super well. So, yeah, Spectre second. Now I think 3, 4, and 5 are like way more contentious uh than 1 and 2.
Especially since the beginning
Uh
of the season.
oh yeah. Like I think me and Dee were talking about how all these teams would be super competitive, and I think it's kind of shaking out that way. Uh
All
I
right,
think
let me hear
third.
them.
I think third I'll put Andromeda, and then fourth I'll put
Yes.
Metabusters. Like
Okay.
unironically, I think Metabusters is like scaling
Metabusters
up.
fourth?
Yeah, I'm putting Metabusters fourth, and then Mass Valor and Pirates fifth, and then Rift Sharks sixth. I'm not gonna lie. I think Rift Sharks has the same issues that Meta Busters does, but I think their carry players are not Silico, and I think that hurts you in the long run because you need like a player like Silico to clutch out games sometimes. I think, and if like the other pieces around Meta Busters can like start shaking up or flipping positive, I guess, I think it's a lot easier for them to do better than for Sharks IMO.
No, I actually really like the Metabusters fourth pick. I think like
Yeah,
as the weeks have gone on and we've seen this team play a little more, I genuinely do feel like they're going to start to come into their own. You know, week
yeah,
two,
yeah. I'm a believer.
I think week two or week three, somebody had mentioned like Spectres figured out their bot lane. You know, Logan and Hong.
Yeah,
Hong on support, Logan 80 carry. It's just like I think that's the strongest you can get that combination to be. So
yeah,
I think that as people kind of figure out what they're doing with their teams, and people get
yeah.
more comfortable with each other and more comfortable with other teams, I think we're gonna see a lot of things shake up.
Not the Rex disrespect though. I think Rex is like an interesting player to like talk about though, in like terms of like how Spectres wants to draft. Like,
Yeah, and I also think that Rex is hard stuck platinum with Ezreal right now. So
hey, yeah! Damn, that's crazy. Someone clip that, bro. Send that to Rex real quick. My goodness. To be fair, Hong is also like stuck in gold, so like I don't know, man. I guess both of our superstar ADCs are both washed. I guess unlucky, man.
something like that, right? I guess.
True. They just can't beat me in the jungle in Diamond or something. I don't know, man.
And
Like,
now Andromeda's got coaching from Vernon, so it's
no.
all
True,
over.
actually, true. I
That
didn't think
actually
about
is
that.
a big shakeup. We just brought Vernon on. We have not had a game since bringing Vernon on. We actually reviewed our game against Metabusters with him, and he had a lot
Yeah.
to say, mostly about the fact that I never take Krugs apparently.
Yeah, you do need to
And
take
that's like
Krugs.
that's like a good
very
camp or
speedy value.
something.
Yeah, yeah. He's right.
um,
I'm doing 6 clears like all the time on Udyr, obviously, but like I think Krugs is like super important right now. But
I'm
that's a
surprised you're
different
still playing
conversation.
that champion.
That champion is good, actually.
Oh, he
It's
says
nerf,
it!
it's nerf.
He says it live!
It's
He
nerf,
says
it's
it
nerf,
live
it's
on
nerf,
air!
It's nerf. It's nerf.
What
Trust,
the
trust, trust, trust.
Mason admits it. Oh,
I've always admitted it. Come on, man.
I,
Don't put me on that, bro.
I've got
always said Udyr is
screenshots,
up
I've
here.
got logs, I've got backlogs, I got I've got years of evidence of you saying Udyr's weak. Hello.
That's true. But like, if you actually ask for my opinion on the champion, I will always say this champion is super good. I don't think the nerfs really did anything.
All right, what's your
If,
opinion
you
on
want to
Udyr
talk
then?
about it.
What's your actual opinion on Udyr then?
Champion's really good. Champion's like actually super strong. I think people underrate some of the AD builds right now as well. I've been testing some more like AD centric builds. Just like if you want to like have a stronger 1v1, look for like a more split push style, which Udyr can kind of do, because of like W sustain and stuff like that. Um, I think like a lot of the AD items are like kind of underrated on him. Like there's like still the Prowler's Claw setup that I've tried a little bit of. It feels pretty decent.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's really strong.
Yeah, I do think
And I
Udyr's
think
good. I'm
I think
glad that
the
Maokai's been
counter-
dethroned.
Yeah, Maokai is I think out for sure. I think he just got replaced by Jarvan. I'm not gonna lie.
Which I'm good
It's
with.
just yeah. I think the strength that Maokai had was like his objective control and like ease of execution. But like Jarvan kind of has that, and like you also have like a better engage. Like they're like a little less tanky, but having AD in your jungle is a little bit better. So
Yeah, I think especially I don't know what it is. Having to play AP junglers constantly, I was struggling to find AD junglers. And I think
yeah,
that
that's
now
what
the
I mean.
meta's beginning to shift, and I think that's really good because now that
Yeah,
we can see more Akalis, we can see more like AP centric teams. We can see
yeah,
APs in the top lane. We can see Kiana's in the mid lane. I don't know. It's like
yeah.
I think that
Somebody's
makes more
getting buffed
sense.
next patch.
Who's getting buffed?
So Kiana's getting buffed next patch.
Oh,
I think
true.
also if we want to like segue into like other topics like next patch, the Pantheon changes are going through, and I think that's something worth talking about in terms of like jungle Pantheon.
I am so excited for the Pantheon changes, and I'm so excited to see Stanley on the Pantheon changes.
Yeah, and it could be like a good flex for your team. A lot of options there for you guys.
All right, well, let's rein it in. Enough about us. I know that this is a kind of an off-meta episode, considering we're not Dean, but
Yeah.
I think I want to talk about something that everybody's waiting for. I
Okay,
think I want to
okay.
talk about the dreamiest Scrims member of the week.
Okay.
What we've determined to at least be the lover boy of the week. It's
Yeah.
Taxi. Do you want to talk about this, Mason? Do you want to talk about why we've declared Taxi as our lover boy of the week?
I think Taxi has like a lot of like really good strengths as a player. I think if you watch the games with his team, I think he is outperforming Valor in both games. I think he got solo killed once in lane, but I think that's like uh uncomfortable on the champion. It's like a new champion. I think it's like fine, but playing these like scaling mages mid lane has really fit his wheelhouse. He's like smurfed in every game he's played IMO. Like every game you've seen him have an impact in his on his team, like both this week and like last, like just throughout the entire season. I think he's had like a insane performance, and I think if you watch how he sets up Mike in the mid lane for like ganks and stuff, it's like Mike is playing the game on easy mode. Like unironically, Taxi is the one like facilitating a lot of the plays in with PB, and like I think he and PB are like the biggest strengths on the side of New York Nutbusters. So yeah, that's my lover boy of the week at least. So
Yeah, I do think that the thing at least I want to highlight is I think that Taxi's pretty consistent, at
mhm.
least from what I've seen.
Yeah,
I haven't noticed any terrible performances, but I've noticed a lot
yeah,
of good ones. And I
yeah.
think that
Like
that
he's mhm.
it's small, but I think it really makes a difference.
Yeah, and it facilitates like some of your more flippy players. Like I think Mike is a little bit more of a flippy player, and like having someone that's like your core mid laner and like is just able to solid out the game, like hold it down mid, rotate for your jungler, like play for him. Like it
Hmm.
does so much work for getting you all these free objectives and stuff. So
I think like
love that guy.
I think the worst performance I've seen by Taxi was that Azir game versus Rift Sharks, the like the 1-4
Yeah,
Azir game. I just don't think anybody from New York Nutbusters played well that game. I think it's
yeah, I
bound to
agree.
happen sometimes.
Mhm. But even in that game, I think he still tried. I think he still played like a decent game. Hold on, let me pull it up. What was it? Azir? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, no one on this team played well that game, and I think they played. They were like one of the brighter spots on the team in that game. So I think just not having a bad performance in any game is like a super good thing for a mid laner. So
All right. Now, do you want to talk about the upcoming games of this week? We've got two scheduled for the week
uh-huh.
of. Actually, no, we've got three scheduled. So there's one on Friday. That'll be MVP versus Rift Sharks. And then we've got two next
Okay.
week. New York
So
Nutbusters is going to make their final round, and they're going to be fighting
the doubleheader.
Andromeda.
Okay, okay. That should be really hype. I'm curious to see how they stack up against the reforged Meta Busters. Uh, I think the way that Meta Busters has been playing, I think it should be a lot closer. Um, Now there's also like the MVP versus Rift Sharks game. This is like I don't know if this is a hot take, but for me this is like battle for fifth and sixth IMO.
The
We'll have to see
MVP
how Rift
versus
Sharks.
Rift Sharks game is Battle for Fifth
Yeah,
and
I'm
Sixth.
sorry, bro.
You are
That's I know Meta
disrespecting.
Busters. I know Meta Busters is like statistically placed lower than them, but I don't know, man. Just watching them play last time, I think they played a lot better than
Okay, you got a
how Rift
lot of
Sharks look.
beef with MVP. I think that their weak side players, their quote unquote weak side players, are Jackson and Will. And when we see Will perform, I think he really performs. I think
Uh,
I got diffed by I got diffed by Jackson Sejuani, so I kind of have to put my own feelings to the side for a little bit. But
I, hmm, I don't know. Like, if you look at the games between MVP and New York Nutbusters, though, like, if you put Jackson on something that's not a low econ tank, I feel like he struggles like every time. Like we saw the Volibear come out of him. That's his one trick, and I think Mike just kind of diffed him on the Lee Sin. And then in the Jarvan game, it felt like he was invisible the entire game. Like you can't sit there and play Jarvan as a six clear jungler. You have to like play a little more aggressive than that.
and all
I
I'm
don't think he
saying,
has like
all I'm
the killer
saying,
instinct. I don't. If your
Mason,
best performing champion is Sejuani, what are you? I don't
Mason,
know. I
all I'm
think they
saying
also.
is as soon as MVP figures out that they just gotta throw Jackson on low econ tanks and throw Will on whatever he wants to play, they're gonna start making rounds. Okay?
You think so?
I
I
think
don't know.
so.
I also think the drafts that they had for the Sejuani comps are also like super good, and like I don't know if they'll be able to pull that out again. Like it's I don't know,
I have
man.
faith.
I'm
I have
so
faith.
down. I'm so down on MVP, and I'm also a little down on Rift Sharks.
All right, so between Rift Sharks and MVP, which one do you think comes out on top? I think it could be close, but I think that if MVP gets their game together before Friday, I think it goes to them. And I don't think it's a contest. I have a lot of faith in Rift Sharks bot lane. I think their bot lane is definitely what makes Rift Sharks the strongest, and I think that Jonah's been performing in a couple of these games in the jungle. So like they do have a good setup, especially on Dragon Pressure, but I don't know, just having somebody like Heroic being able to 1v9 off of a good top lead.
Okay, I have some hot takes about Jonah's jungling recently.
Oh no, don't
he's
flame
he's
Jonah.
he's had a bit of a fall from grace compared to last season. I'm not gonna
No.
lie. I'm sorry, King. It's not been pretty from my perspective. It's uh, like I think he's had like one good game every series, and that's about it from me. I'm not gonna lie. Everything else has looked really shaky
So
from me, at least.
disrespectful. All right, well let's see.
Okay.
Let's see if he lives up to the slander. Let's see if Jonah lives up to
Okay.
the slander,
Yeah.
and let's see if he's got one good game. Let's see if he has at least
Okay.
two good games in him from this series, because I'm a believer.
True. Okay. I'm not saying I'm not a believer. I think it's MVP 2-1. That's my submission.
I'm
I think.
also a little bit biased because Jonah's partner's on Andromeda, so
Yeah.
I kind of have to rep Jonah here.
Yeah, of course. I get it. I'm also a Jonas stan. That's my boy, but I can't discount good or bad play because of bias. You know, that's not me, dog.
I think it's definitely going to be a 2-1. I don't know in whose favor.
Gun to your head. Who are you saying?
I do not think it's going to be a 2-0 sweep. I can absolutely
agree.
say I don't think it'll be a 2-0 sweep. Gun in my head. It's. I think it goes to MVP. I think
Okay.
I think
That's
there
what
is
I
a
figured.
lot of pressure on Rift Shark's bot lane to perform,
Yeah.
and I think if they don't perform, and Valor does, it's going to be so hard to win that game.
Yeah. I also have under the opinion Dean does not perform all the time under pressure. It's a little hit or miss. I've played with him like a couple seasons. Like, that's just my perspective on it. But
I will say that. Oh my God, what will I say? I just completely blanked on that. Oh, I will say that Rift Sharks has probably a better draft.
yeah, they've drafted pretty decently so far.
I think
I
that
don't
Rift
know.
Sharks definitely has a better draft going into it. I think the MVP has better just raw power.
Yeah, it's like the mechanics versus.
Yeah,
Uh,
and so I think it's gonna be close. I'm kind of excited for the series. Not gonna lie.
I am. I'm too. I'm definitely gonna catch this live. I might cast it. We'll have to see.
Oh, he might cast it. He might do his job.
What? Your
He's
job?
retired.
Hey, yo,
He's gonna
I'm
cast
getting
every
paid now?
game. He's gonna
That's
cast
crazy.
every game this season. Won't miss a single one.
Yeah.
Is that my jungler
probably will.
Mason?
Yeah. That's crazy. But I think to talk about. Okay, let's move on to New York Novabusters versus Andromeda. Nah,
Oh, let's not move on.
I'll
to
let
this
you go
one.
first.
Let's
I'll
not
let
move
you
on
go
to this
first.
one.
No, go ahead. Guess your
Uh,
team up.
All right, plain and simple. I'm scared of getting jungle diffed.
Okay.
I'm scared of getting so jungle diffed here. Cause
Okay.
don't leak the strats. Don't leak the strats. But we're gonna ban the Rengar. Rengar's good this patch.
Okay.
And
I agree.
Mike's a one trick, so we absolutely can't let Mike get the Rengar.
Okay. I will push back on that right now. I think he has proved he is definitively not a one trick, but I do think banning his best champion in the Rengar is a good strategy.
All right, I'll accept that. No longer a one trick, but definitely his best champion. Other than
Yeah.
that, no idea what we're banning.
Okay,
No idea what
okay.
we're picking. I don't know the strat here. I'm gonna be honest, and I won't know the strat till the night of.
All right.
I will get
well,
a call with Zach and Adam. Adam will tell me he's been playing Viego top with Ghost Ignite, and Zach will
Okay,
tell
okay.
me that AP Recon mid is the new wave, and
Okay.
we're just gonna have to work around that.
You know, we say this as a bit, but like I can fully see both of them doing that. So
it's only half joking.
he's only half joking, ladies and gentlemen. I guess I can talk about it for a little bit as well. This is like also one of my hyped matchups. I think Andromeda does have a shot here. I
I would
think
like to think we
Adam.
do.
I think it'll be fun watching the Blake versus Adam matchup as well. This is like one of my more hyped matchups. Like, I think Blake has been performing super well. I think Adam has put in a lot of games recently.
You know what Adam
And
says to
like
me the other day?
has leveled up a lot. What?
Adam says to me after we played. Who did we play? We played a series and we did really well. And Adam
Uh-huh.
goes, he says, you know, when I'm actually playing the game, it's not that hard. It's like, brother,
That's crazy.
let's
That is crazy.
let's flash back to you running it down. Let's flash back to you not even knowing if you'll play this season.
Something like that.
I'm very thankful that that Adam has actually started to play the game. You know, going
Yeah.
from here, let me pull it up. Going from a nice. I gotta go back a couple. I gotta go back a couple. Going from 1-8 top lane against Dean as Mundo to absolutely carrying games as GP and Akshan.
Yeah. Definitely like insane GP and Akshan performances from him as well. Uh, that yeah. I think I'm most looking forward to that matchup. I think either Zach or Stanley mid versus Taxi will also be fun to watch.
I'm
I'm not
excited.
gonna lie.
Yep.
I think any variation of your bot lane gets kind of fisted by Alex and DV, but we'll have to see how that shakes out. You know?
Honestly, I think the biggest thing to look out for here is PB's roams. I think PB does a really
Yeah,
good
maybe
job
roaming
affecting
a
the map,
lot. Yeah,
and I think that Alex does a really good job of playing weak side. And so I think
yeah,
all we're going to be looking out for is how can we minimize the damage from that.
yeah. I will say, I think you and Mike is also going to be a fun matchup. You said you haven't played a lot of games. Best get to that grindstone, brother. It's time to grind.
I'm not excited, man. I'm not excited to get diffed by their jungler. Hello? Oh
All
my
right.
gosh.
Okay. But for predictions, I will say I think it's 2-1 New York
I
Nutbusters.
think it's at least a 2-1, and I got to put faith in my team. So
Okay.
I will give New York Nutbusters one game. They get one game. And
Okay.
it will be
Okay.
game 2.
Okay. I respect that. I respect that.
And it will not be close. Do you hear me, Blake? Blake's been
I'm
DMing
a
me.
believer.
Blake's DMing me,
Okay.
saying we're going a little too in on Taxi, if you know what I mean.
I mean, on his cock or what? Like,
Something like that, right?
that's crazy.
All right, and what do you think about Metabusters versus New York Nutbusters? That is a rematch, yeah?
I think so. I think it's like our first rematch.
That is
or
our very
something.
first rematch, I think. Cause, yeah, that's our very first rematch. What do you think?
Okay. As much as I've been gassing up Metabusters this podcast, I cannot, in good conscience, put them above New York Nutbusters. I think they can scrape a game. I'll say 2-1 or 2-1 New York Nutbusters. Sorry.
Okay, so 3-2-1s this week. You really don't think there's gonna be a single 0-2?
Nah, my team's not playing, so they're not cleaning anyone out. You know?
Oh my gosh, something like that, right? Well,
Yeah.
I hate to bring it up, but they are
Okay.
playing next Friday.
Yeah. Who are they
So
playing next Friday?
they're playing MVP. So the games we've covered are MVP versus Rift Sharks, which is this week. It's this Friday,
Hmm.
and then it loops over into next week with Andromeda versus New York Nutbusters, and then it's next Thursday with Metabusters versus New York Nutbusters, and then finally next Friday is Spectres versus MVP.
Okay.
So as you said, I think it's a 2-0 MVP over Spectres.
You think so?
Yeah, you said your team's playing, so there's going to be a sweep, and I think it's going to be 2-0 MVP over Spectres.
That's crazy. MVP is like 0-3 versus Spectres at this point.
I have faith. They get it together.
You have faith. That's crazy. I'll stick with the numbers. I'll say 2-0 Spectres, bro. I don't care.
I have faith they get their act together and they perform. I want to believe.
Okay, okay. All right. I think that's good for like the games, right?
Yeah, something like that. Now, how about we go
Uh,
into these patch notes?
yeah. Next week's patch notes. This week's patch notes. I think it should be next week's. I think there's a lot coming next week, right? There's like Ash support nerfs. There's Azir changes. There's Yumi buffs or Yumi changes. Bad patch, bad patch. Sure. Oh, the GP nurse. The GP
Is
nurse.
there anywhere I can see the
God bless.
entirety of the patch notes? Can you send me the entirety of the patch
Let me
notes?
look. Let me look.
Yeah, bringing
Um,
Yumi back is definitely ambitious.
yeah. I don't think they're out yet, but I can like sort of give a TLDR on most of it. Oh, wait, I think I found it. Hold on. This is like 2 weeks ago, right? Yeah, this is 2 weeks. Hold on. Let me do a little
Blake
digging
is
on the
trying
old
to
Twitter document.
teach Riot how to play their own game. You should submit a letter, maybe send a package to Riot headquarters. I'm sure that'll go over really well.
True, true.
The Azir changes honestly aren't as big as I was hoping.
Yeah, I've heard that as well. I think 80 carry Ash is getting a lot of buffs. Yeah.
I can check. It
Uh, oh, hold on. I think I have the changes right here. I'll send you Spider Axe's Twitter, and then you can scroll through there. It's literally all there. But like, you just have to find the gif that you want to talk about
Oh
too.
my gosh, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah,
Yeah, he's.
I think
If
80
any of you
Ash.
want to, yeah, if any of you want like up to date balance stuff or like watch them live tune stuff, follow Spider Axe, Riot, Floxon, and a Riot Froxon. I don't know how to pronounce any of these names, but a bunch of Riot people are on Twitter all the time. They send like patch notes and stuff, and it's really good to follow if you want to keep up with the game. Um,
I see. Oh my gosh, LeBlanc buffs?
yeah, LeBlanc is getting some changes.
Oh my gosh.
There's so much to talk about in these patch notes. Aatrox W is getting buffed, and his R is getting buffed to give more AD. They're changing how Cosmic Drive is being built. There's no longer HP on it, but it gives like a 90 AP flat, which is a huge change for like. I think Silas probably wants that, but I think the HP is also pretty valuable. Um, Hold on, let me look at the. I
AP
think I have
Twitch
that.
nerfs, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think that's fair though. I think the champion was like kind of strong.
I think
A little
Champion's way
grossly
too
so.
good. Even though Adam
Yeah,
did manage to drop a game when he was like what 6-1.
yeah, we don't talk about that. I
Yeah,
think
still not
never
letting him let
happened.
it go.
I think Caitlyn nerfs are also coming in. It's just like base AD and armor nerfs though, so I
A
don't know if
soul
that changes
nerfs
too
again.
much. Yeah, Champ's still like really good, and I think a
Cosmic
little
Drive
consistent.
changes.
Really.
Cosmic Drive is now
Yeah,
giving 90 AP.
yeah, it's like super good. I think on like more AP casters. I think Rise kind of wants that. If you play a bit better, I don't think the HP matters too much,
I think that is
but I might be wrong.
crazy. Increasing from
Yeah, it's maybe
65 to
AP.
90, that is like something. Because what, it gives ability haste too?
Yeah, it still gives the ability haste and like the 3-hit passive for like
I
extra AP and haste. I think that's really solid.
I think that is something to try on Echo now.
Yeah, I
Go
can see that.
fourth item Cosmic Drive or third item Cosmic Drive if you if you need more consistent damage.
Yeah, yeah, makes a lot of sense. Um, there are also some like jungle system changes as well. Uh, they're removing the jungle camp damage, the enemy jungle damage reduction. So like you're more incentivized to like
Mm-hmm.
counter jungle if the enemy jungler fails a gank. You can deny a lot more XP that way. I think lane experience for junglers is like nerfed as well, so that you're not incentivized to just AFK and your fucking teammates small bush and then like EQ out and kill immediately off cooldown.
So
I
what are
think
we
this is
thinking?
a nerf.
Kane comes back a little bit.
I don't know actually. I think it's okay. I hate to say it, but I think Udyr actually stays up on
Oh
the
my
top.
gosh,
I think
you're
Jarvan actually gets kind of
killing
nerfed by
me.
the because Jarvan is like you want to be a little more active, play for like lanes and stuff, whereas like Udyr is a little more look for the enemy's jungle kind of thing, like play more counter
Yeah,
jungle kind of style. I could see the King coming back though. I think
I absolutely think
that is
that
the
this
champion to
is.
probably look out for.
I absolutely think this is an indirect nerf to Jarvan because you know this
Yeah,
patch you can go like 3 camp gank bot. Okay, go gank mid. Go back gank bot. Okay,
Yeah, you can
take a back
literally
if
just
you need it. If you don't, go farm or gank mid again. And it's like
yeah,
you do
it's just
not
not good.
you do not need to return to your topside camps for like 4 minutes. And I think like actually
Yeah,
having some punish in that, like Nidalee, Kane, just the mobile kind of hunter junglers. I think Udyr.
yeah,
I think they might see a resurgence from this, just indirectly.
yeah. I just think yeah, I think this change helps them a lot. I think it's like a nerf to like the more level 3 junglers, stuff like the Elise as well. That's been pretty prevalent.
Thank God.
Yeah,
I can't
should
do it.
be interesting to see.
I can't do it
I
anymore
did
with the
also
Elises.
yeah, Elise is such an annoying champion to deal with. Um, I did want to talk a little bit about the Yumi changes. I don't know if you read all of them.
Yeah, I've read up on them. It seems I like it. I like the changes.
Yeah, I think you're incentivized to sit on your ADC a little more. Like it gives you rewards for winning lane as like Yumi, which is like possible to do. I think especially with like the way they set up her new stuff, like the restoring health on hit and like giving a shield. I think the ulti also being an AoE heal is like kind of a under mentioned part of the kit. Like it gives health, it gives armor, magic resist. Now I think this is like a net buff for Yumi, and it's like I also think that I think the Q does more damage now. I don't
I
actually
think
know the
Q does
exact
more
numbers,
damage,
but
but you lack the mobility with it. You can no longer
yeah,
guide it as far.
it starts speeding up and it's harder to hit. I think.
You literally can't guide it after it speeds up.
Oh really?
Yeah, it shoots in whatever direction it was going. Which
Oh yeah. That's
I
interesting.
I think that's a nerf. I
Yeah,
think that
that's
that is
definitely a nerf.
overall a nerf. I think it's good that
Yeah.
it moves really fast. So like it does move like a good projectile. It does more damage, and I just think that overall being able to hit less Qs and being able to not weave them through minion waves, or do that thing where you like kind of overshoot but then you bring it back because you're Yumi and for some reason that can happen.
Yeah, I hated that style. I think it rewards Yumi players that like actually try. Is the detach mechanic still on there?
Yes, yeah, I think so. If you're attached, you get to control it, and then it shoots off when it empowers, and when if you're detached, it shoots straight. I think. I like
Oh.
mostly that they're moving her to a 450 champion, and I like that they're changing her to a 450 champion.
Yeah, she seems a lot simpler. I think you're rewarded a lot more for autoing as well in lane because it like functions as like lane sustain.
Yeah,
If I'm reading this
it
correctly.
reads mana, right? It regains mana and health or something.
I think on the passive it's just health, and then if you eat someone, it gives them mana. I think that does open up some interesting combinations though, like
I like
Karthus.
I like bringing back mana sustain. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty rare, but like it could help with like non-ADC bot laners as well. Like there's a lot of different champions that could use this. I think champions with like a lot of mana issues early on really benefit from these kind of changes. So
I also think that one small quality of life change we should not overlook is you can aim her ultimate now. It's not just you click in one direction and the enemy team can walk down. During each chapter, you can change the direction of her ulti in a radial way.
huh.
Yeah,
Wait, that's kind of cool actually.
yeah, it's
I'm
very
kind of
neat, and I
down to
like
see
that.
that.
I like that change a lot. I just think it makes her more fun to play.
Yeah, for sure. Mm, I don't know. I will say I think the nerfs to support Ash is actually like a huge nerf to my team, but that's a different conversation.
Yeah, thank God, right?
Yeah, sure. Honestly, dirty Ash abusers or something. Who would ever do that?
Champion is
Truly
so fun. Champion is so
despicable.
stupid fun.
Yeah.
Although the GP nerfs, I do not like to see that.
Really?
I
Oh
do
yeah, you
not like
top laner
seeing
for
the
the GP. I
GP
forgot.
nerfs. Our top lane
I
is like
forgot.
a GP1 trick.
I will say, I think the Rumble changes also has like a decent chance to bring him back mid lane.
Okay, how come?
Like Rumble mid is like already pretty good, and like having like a good flex champion, in mid and top is like super strong. I also think Rumble jungle is probably like a little underrated, and like worth experimentation on if you want to use it as like a three-way flex. That could be pretty interesting. Um, that's like a little more corner case.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm mostly just curious to see where the Pantheon changes land because anytime you see like Pantheon changes that buff his base damages or like his Q, you always have to think about like jungle Pantheon or like support Pantheon rather than lane Pantheon because I feel like lane Pantheon always has had like certain weaknesses and like ways you can play around it, but like I think Riot historically almost never likes jungle Pantheon or like what is it, support Pantheon because of how gold efficient the champion can be and like how consistent like pressing W onto enemy champions is. And it's like having that kind of power on a jungler is like always scary. Like it's almost always a guaranteed kill if you hit W on a champion. It's like
Yeah.
it's just it's so much damage, especially with like Q execute. Looking at the changes now, they're buffing his attack speed. So it does look like buffing his base attack speed, Q cooldown. Like these are definitely huge changes for Pantheon jungle. So
I agree. I think Pantheon Jungle might be able to see a bit of a resurgence. I think
yeah.
that that is definitely a champion to watch out for. I think it could be triple flexed.
Triple flexed? Okay, okay.
Yeah, top mid jungle. I think all three are very viable roles for Pantheon. I think that champion is giga busted, and I know everybody likes to say he falls off. I think Pantheon is one of the
Kinda
strong.
doesn't.
I think he's one of the strongest characters at 6 items.
You think so? I
With
think it's like
with the ability, bar your Kales, your Rises, your Cassidans, whatever, the ability to press W on an AD carry and remove them from the fight.
yeah, I guess it's one of the easiest like 6 item power spike champions, right? Like you just it's like almost like no counterplay unless your ADC is like Guma UC or something, insta cleansing, like flashing, doing some matrix shit to get out of that shit. It's
Yeah,
like
getting an empowered W with press the attack and a spear. Jeez, dude.
yeah, you're fucking dead. But
It-
like yeah, it should be an interesting meta to watch. Although Pantheon has always like struggled in like more farm centric metas in jungle, so and it
that's true.
might be like a more counter jungle oriented style nowadays. So
These buffs are kind of coming at a very unfortunate time for Pantheon.
yeah, something like that.
Something like that. All right. Well,
I think we've
you
gone through everything really.
one last question. You mentioned Viego buffs. What are the Viego buffs?
Uh, no, it was last patch, but like
Oh, gotcha.
there were no Viego buffs. That champion's good right now.
Yeah,
Trust.
I didn't know if they were buffing him again. Thank God they're not.
Nah, I don't think they should. I think they should wait for his win rate to stabilize out because champion's already really good, but at least playable nowadays. Don't look at my win rate on him in solo queue, by the way. That's bait that we don't talk about.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, if that's everything, you have any closing remarks
Uh,
about the
no, not
teams
really.
that just played, the teams that are going to play, any players you're looking out for, champions you hope to see?
I do want to see Noam play the Pantheon jungle when it comes out. I think they played like Pantheon jungle last season and it performed really well for them. So curious to see if they'll whip that out. Uh, I just want to see more of Mike's Viego as well. Champion's really good. Maybe Ann will bring it out as well because Ann used to play Viego as well. So we'll have to see. I just
Yeah.
think there's like a lot of options right now. So
Yeah, I think Viego's the
Super fun.
last character I want to see.
yeah, true.
Ugh.
No, if you learn Viego, you can flex it to Adam.
Yeah,
So cool.
absolutely,
So good.
right? Isn't that so cool having a Viego top?
Yeah, of course.
Isn't that so gas? The only champion more worthless is Belveth in a lane.
True.
Oh my god.
All right. Well, do
Help
you have any
me.
closing thoughts for our audience at home?
No, but Blake, I did send a package. If you want to go leave and pick up your mail, we can discuss our upcoming game or something.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I think on that note, we should cut it there.
All right.
Thoughts?
Yeah, that sounds good with me. Thank you, gamer.
Right. Yep. It was a lot of fun, boys.
Good night.
Good night.
Oh no. And then this is the part where I have to do this thing where I accidentally change something and just like don't listen to this part of the podcast. This actually isn't real. This one doesn't exist, and that's my bad entirely. Um, Thank you for listening, and thank you for Mason for co-hosting. Have a good night, and we will see how these games go in the upcoming week.